So hi, in this video, I want to talk about short-term gratification is basically destroying us. And then I discovered this because of I have a personal story which I might share with you. Now, for most of my life, I grew up in a privileged home, but cash itself was a major challenge. So recently, I received the largest financial input in my life, and the first thing I went and did was to write out, because quote unquote, you have to be smart with money. The first thing I went was I wrote down a list of things that I desire, things that I need. I really, really need these things. Then another voice in my head came and said, when you listen to people like Dave Ramsey, they tell you how to focus on your money, right? Yeah, how to focus your money. So I figured that I might do 30% on things that I need, 30% for like monthly upkeep, and the other 30% for emergency savings and everything. That is, sorry, 33% cross. So, and that voice came and said, this list you created was way too big for the 30% that you're budgeting for the things you need. So I had to think of, hold on, what if I question the things that I put on that list? After looking at the list carefully, I kind of realized that I don't need most of these things. They're just desires, fancy desires. And then on two is that they're fancy desires that I think have been placed on me for different reasons from different sources. Sometimes I feel some of them are placed based on social media hype. Like for example, I will not call some products social media hype. A need to want to show, oh yes, I have this. Some things were just for excuses to procrastinate on certain things. Something I had in that list was a camera. Mind you, I have a mirrorless camera right now in this video that I'm using to shoot. I have a mic. But I wrote those same things because I wanted the better mic. I wanted a camera that could flip. Not because I really don't like to trade in my stuff. I rather dash or keep them. So don't tell me that no. Having a better camera will not make me create better content. Because there are people whose camera are worse than mine but still have like better content. And that's a story I tell myself that, okay, what else? A bike. Now, this is very interesting because when I considered the bike, I also considered the consequences of me buying that bike, because that power bike could have been the largest thing on the list. I figured that when I buy the bike, at first, I'll feel very guilty not riding that bike at all. And because I work from home, I barely go out. Okay, what that means is I'll be forced to go out every Saturday and Sunday on that bike, knowing fully well that I don't need it. Now, it's one thing to not need something when you don't have the money. But when you have the money, that's a different ball game. And we see this thing in life where people have all these limitations on them, like they can't afford certain things. But when they get to see some level of success, get to see some level of freedom, they begin to feel like life has limited them for so much. Now they have been rewarded, so they should give up those limits. They begin to buy a lot of things that they do not want or they don't even need. They begin to no, mind you, if I like in the case of my bike, I kind of feel like if I have money to buy the bike and that money feels very average, very okay for me, I could buy the bike and say, okay, because it didn't take much of my finances. But when it took like a lot of my finances, I will feel guilty. So the main problem is not getting it, is the fact that it took a chunk from me. So it took a chunk from me. I might as well justify it by saying, you know what, hold on, what if I ride it? So it's something that I have a vehicle I have access to, but now it's just there because I've never really had the need to like move that vehicle because I didn't spend so much on the vehicle. So it's something we see in life, which also leads to the idea of sunk cost fallacy, where you believe that because you are putting a lot of time and resources into a project, you must see to completion. or rather still, you have a project you've invested a year or two in, no returns. But you start a side project, and the side project is doing way more or way better than the main project. Now, there are other things to consider in this factor, but because of ego, you rather focus on the project that's not working, and at the detriment of that which is already working. And I saw this in my dad's story. Like I said, there could be extra context missing from that discussion because of a lot of other things. Um, and I have a video coming up very very soon on why um why limitations are needed. That is so being limiting limitations are either forced by what do they call it, by nature, or we have to self impose those limits. We have to self impose those limits, or else they could lead to self destruction. That is actually the beginning of self destruction. We see this everywhere in life. So it's almost like, and so we brings into the idea of short term gratification. That we kind of see ourselves as we live in a world of instant gratification now, where I'm very serious. If you put the word instant in your marketing message, your product and service will look completely different, will feel completely different, because thanks to capitalism, the need to want to make things faster, better, cheaper has made words like faster, cheaper, instant, quick mean so much to us. And we don't know that these things have consequences. They have consequences. So it's like, so, and at the same time, I think I got this from a podcast saying that we should stop using the cheap alternative to anything in life. The cheap alternatives. And what are cheap alternatives? Which is dating apps, swipe left, swipe right. You are vetting somebody based off their digital version of them. Yes, it has its pros, because but in the long term, it has its downsides, which brings me to the fact that instant gratification constantly leads to the worst outcome. It's like it's like diet. Everybody would rather eat things that are sweet, sugary, fatty, vegetable oils, but they really would prefer the healthy diet. They really would prefer going to the gym. They really would prefer putting in that consistent effort now, or rather just have maybe a stable paying job that is almost that one gives them assurance of getting paid every 2 weeks or 30 days. But not knowing that that business over time things will compound. The workout you do will begin to compound. And then it's because they are kind of used to, like I said, short term thinking, or sometimes, in our case, dopamine addiction. It's so crazy to the point that when you look at how Instagram has slowly been going down, slowly, when you investigate it at the end of the day, what happened is you found a company that beat them to the game of dopamine effect, dopamine satisfaction. Because people will find the low effort actions easier. People will find the low action easier. But in reality, like I said, they have long term consequences. It's like this saying that I think I'm trying to formulate in my head that says there are consequences for the things we enjoy now, and there are rewards for the things we suffer for now. Which brings it to the point of, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Not by me, but Isaac Newton. You see this point I just mentioned has been seen by a lot of people. By a lot of people. By a lot of people. It's not new. That has been happening over and over again in history. But yet, most people never take the time to learn it. Mind you, the best of us basically succumb to these ideas of instant gratification. Like I said, I'm lucky because, like I said, voices in my head just kept on snapping me back to reality. But the bottom line was, if I had gone out with that list, I probably may have had a lot of things that I don't need or I may never use. Or if I use, I would have to go out of my way to use them. Sometimes just to justify the purchase, not because I really need them. For example, I was considering getting a new phone, but to be very honest, I rarely use this phone. What I mean I rarely use this phone is that this phone basically it may not take the best pictures because I rarely take pictures, which I'm trying to work on. But of the phone I wanted of the phone I want to buy, this can do 90% of the same work. Like I said, if I was not really spending a large chunk of it, I won't be bothered. Like if I had the money, if I have 10 times the money to buy that bike, I would not be bothered. I wouldn't be. I'll buy it and I can pack it there and ride it when I really, really want to ride, not because I am guilty tripped on riding that thing. So which from this whole concept of second order consequences. Second order consequences. And this thing is real. A lot of people do not think that their actions have consequences. And if you look at successful people, I mean the ones who hold their success for a long period of time, not those who get successful. They forget about self-discipline, they get distracted on what got them there, they keep their eyes off the price, and then they begin to fall compared to those who stay there for a long time. And like I always say, Steve Jobs was, to me, he's the best entrepreneur of all times, better than anybody who is alive today in terms of entrepreneurship. That was because Steve Jobs understood certain concepts, things like first principles thinking. He understood that at the core of everything is spirituality. That was why he could come up with such profound discoveries, such profound statements, speeches. So what I'm going to is with these speeches, he said something. He says, stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry means when you get to the top of the mountain, know that there's a bigger mountain to climb. And that has propelled Apple to heights that are beyond the ordinary. Look at Apple right now. Companies will surpass Apple. Give it a couple of months, Apple is back on top again. That is not luck. So people might say, oh, Tim Cook, Steve Jobs is no longer there. Steve Jobs laid the foundation for what we see right now in Apple. He laid the foundation for right now what we see in Apple. So, because you understood that concept, then stay foolish means that when you're building your startup, you're hungry, you're foolish, you're trying out a lot of things, you're being creative, you're being foolish, you're thinking out of the box, doing things that are different. Yet, yes, you should keep that same mentality when you get to the top. And I have a video that is called coming out very, very soon. Is I can't remember the name of the video. It's going to come out very, very soon. So I really hope that I can like make these videos almost every day, which is more like I said, just off the top of my head, like giving you nice content every single day. For now. So the purpose of this video is to first of all realize the idea of second order consequences, that for every action you take is an equal and opposite reaction. If you take the short-term path, that is instant gratification, there are consequences for that. What that means is that you're going to reap the reward later. And please mind you, I'm a very big believer that you need both the long-term gratification and the short-term gratification. You need both of them. Because if you're to live out only on long-term gratification, you get to a point and realize that you made too much sacrifice. You sacrificed a lot of things. Which brings me to the point of how much sacrifice are we willing to make certain things happen? Because sometimes I ask myself, is creating content worth it? Because I don't create content about my business. I don't. I don't. I create content for the sake of I have a movement I want to start. So I might as well start that movement, hoping that 3 to 5 years from now it has massive momentum, has good momentum. So yes, that's something that I really, really want to desire. So at the same time, you need short-term gratifications for those things that you don't want to miss out of life. At the same time, control it. Control those short-term gratification. Like, for example, I live healthy. Sometimes I choose to have a soda, a bottle of soda. Doesn't mean, and that could probably happen like once a month, twice a month, but not a regular thing. But the bottom line is I control my short-term gratification. At the same time, long-term gratification. So it's the same thing you see along in all areas of life. In all areas of life, you have to think long. You have to enjoy the idea of compound effect. You have to enjoy the idea of compound effect because, like Albert Einstein said, it's the eighth wonder of the entire world. Compound effect. You are constantly improving. Now, at first you will barely see results, and it's in everything in life. It's even at the gym. You go to the gym, first month no results, the second month no results, third month no results. A lot of people quit. Same thing right now. If you're watching this video, I may suspect that you may see me in the future, where I probably have a decent amount of audience. But as at the point of making this video, I should have made over 1,000 videos. Over 1,000 videos, but still nothing. I don't have up to I have up to 400 people who I can call my audience. I probably have 3 people in mind who actively engage in my content. Engage 3 people, over 1,000, but still, I should do it. Which leads people on the topic of knowing why we do the things we do. So yeah. So certain tips you can use is, like I said, have a vision. When you have a long term goal, when you get to that goal, look for a bigger goal and keep moving towards it. At the same time, once in a while, be grateful for it. Have those moments, controlled moments where you like engage, you indulge. At the same time, the goal here is to control those things. At the same time, control your long term thinking. Because let me see, is there anything I think I may not have called out? That's it basically. So thank you very much. I think in this video, if you got the concept of you controlling your desires, you might as well be on your own path to becoming your own person, your own master, not buying things for the sake of capitalism. Trust me, I love capitalism. It's one of the best things that happen to life, but don't be a victim of it. Don't be a victim of your own desires. Don't let your desires control you. The things you get are things that you should enjoy, and things that live in the moment and sometimes live for the future, because those two are just as important as each other. So I guess I've caught myself repeating some things back to back. That's about it. So thank you very much. Kindly share my video with somebody who you think will need it, who you think will jump on this movement of becoming a full stack man. Now, on my other channel, I document my daily journey of becoming a full stack man. I'm trying to like take it more further with following me what I do back to back every day. So thank you very much for tuning in. So please share my video with somebody who you think it is greatly going to benefit. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.